In video one, part one for safety, we covered the fires and we covered the burns. We're going to wrap up the kitchen safety in this video. When it comes to falls, a couple of things that really are beneficial when you're working around a lot of people are communication. So, in all professional kitchens and all professional environments, it is customary when you walk behind someone to quietly just say behind you, and that way they know that somebody's behind. If you have a bunch of hot things in your hand, if I'm carrying a big huge pan of chicken that I've just pulled out of the oven, when I walk behind I say hot behind. I may also say hot corner. That means I'm coming around a corner with heavy hot stuff in my hand. So I want to make sure that people know corner, behind you. And this is just customary in all professional environments, not just my kitchen. This will really be important and critical when we cover knife skills and making sure that you are saying knife behind or knife walking when you walk behind somebody and you have a knife in your hand. If they are at the prep station and they are cutting, it's important that they kind of know that you're behind them, particularly if you have something hot and they have a knife in their hand or they're making cuts, and then they know not to step back. So communication is going to go a long way in the professional kitchen. Making sure that we clean up an area. We leave a sign in the area until it is safe. We clean up all spills immediately. And when the best practice is to wear shoes that are non-slip. So in a professional kitchen, you would need restaurant skid resistant soles. Regular tennis shoes do not work. These are closed toe. So an open toe would be like a sandal or flip-flops. These shoes are designed to be heat, water, and grease resistant, not proof. So you do still need to make sure that the floor is as good as you can get it as far as being slippery. They should lace up tightly or not have any laces at all, like the clogs shown, and they should not be a high heel. So here in my lab, I don't make you wear the skid-resistant soles until you go out in the professional internship program as a senior when you're in a professional kitchen, but I do require that you do not have high heels, and closed toe is preferable. That way, if you drop something on your foot, you do have the shoe that protects your foot. When it comes to making sure that you are not slipping and falling as much as possible, we did discuss the things that make the floor slippery. Grease and oil, any type of butter or oil product. This also includes the baking spray. If you are spraying like a glass baking dish before baking the pan, we do that over the sink or the trash can. Flour and powdered sugar are one of the worst things that I see in the lab, and people don't think about them as making the floor slippery, and they can actually be worse than something that is wet. Just regular dry cloth, like a dryer sheet, is very dangerous. An apron on the floor, it's amazing what just a piece of fabric will do, particularly on these freshly waxed floors. So not just liquids make the floor slippery. Dryer sheets, grease, flour, powdery objects. The next type of accident are cuts, and we want to make sure if there is broken glass, I prefer to clean it up. I would pick up the big pieces first and put them into a separate container that I will take out to the dumpster when I leave for the day. We do not put those in a regular trash can. We want to make sure that my custodial staff, that the people that are emptying my garbage for me at the end of the day, are not cut by some glass coming into that trash. So our big pieces of glass, they go separate. For the little tiny pieces of glass, we would take a wet paper towel and wipe those up to make sure the little shards come up. So that's how we clean up broken glass. Again, I prefer to do it even if you feel confident in it. It's just easier and better for me as the adult to get that taken care of. We do wear gloves if we can. Picking up broken glass, use a dustpan or a brush, and we do not put it directly into the trash can. So when it comes to poisoning, we do deal with chemicals in the lab and in the kitchen. We typically make sure that they are stored separately. They are not stored around the food. They are stored in their original container. All your chemicals must have a label on them. and we don't ever mix them together. So we never mix two cleaners together. We talked about the harmful vapors that can come. You can give yourself a chemical burn in your nose and your lungs. That can even get so bad to lead to suffocation. You could pass out and then you continue to breathe those things. Bleach and ammonia are known to basically create a very bad vaporous gas that can cause even death. Chemicals can also burn your skin. We do have special cleaning gloves. Caustic means it will burn your skin and you should wear gloves. So if you see that term caustic on a label, now you know what that means. In the lab for everyday food labs, for the end of the semester clean, we get a little bit more harsh chemicals out. I get some oven cleaner and some stuff out. For the most part, everything that you're going to use to clean the lab, though, is food safe, sanitizer, or it's more of a household chemical. We still need to, or a household cleaner. We still want to be careful we don't get that into the food, and we store it appropriately and we use it at the right level, but we definitely are not in as much of a danger of that being a really bad accident if you get it on you or you ingest a small amount. Don't drink it. It can cause a lot. It can cause some bad stuff. One more thing about the chemicals themselves is to make sure that we are using them appropriately and at the appropriate amount. So I have a lot of students and they use bleach to wash dishes at their house. And if they do, that's fine. When it comes to that, you definitely want to make sure you're using it appropriately. Don't just pour some bleach into the water. If you're overusing the bleach and the people in your household are ingesting that. And that could be dangerous, particularly for elderly and very young people. Anybody can face a danger by consuming too much bleach or bleach residue. So a capful, half a capful, just like a tiny little teaspoon in a full sink of water is more than enough to do what you need to do if you are going to put that additive into your dishwater. So OSHA makes sure that people that are on the job are being safe so they don't get hurt and that we are trained appropriately, and they also make sure that the employer is providing a good and safe environment. So they protect everybody. They come into the building, they come into our school, they come into your workplace, anywhere that you have a job. They do a safety audit. They give you a score, and they let you know of any issues that they may find. And that protects you from getting hurt on the job. And it also protects your employer if you do get hurt on the job of having justification and paperwork to state, no, we provided a safe environment and your practices that you were trained against, you were not following good practices. If I'm standing on a stack of chairs to hang some stuff in my classroom and I fall and hurt myself, I cannot sue the employer because I've been trained not to do that, and proper use of ladders. I have the proper equipment, and so it protects both the employer and the employee. When it comes to the fires and electrical shocks, don't touch anything electrical with wet hands. Make sure your equipment is in good shape. If you have damaged cords, you report them, we replace them. Don't put too much into one outlet. Don't remove a grounded plug. Don't let grease or dirt build up on the equipment. And also do not ever pull or jerk. If I have an appliance out here and it's plugged in over there, I don't pull or jerk on that cord because I could separate the cord and the plug. Now the plug's in the wall and it has electricity running through it, and I have wide open wires. And so getting that plug back out of the wall could be kind of a dangerous situation. Most of your outlets are not going to be too dangerous. They're going to shock you. You're going to get a little shock wave. But for people that have a heart problem or for the higher levels plugs that we have, even in my lab, it could be a lot more dangerous. So either way, that's the best way to handle them.